Hey guys, do you ever wish you could give your backyard a fresh new look? Have you ever wanted a koi pond or a water feature, but you didn't want to break the bank? Do projects like this seem intimidating? Well, in today's video, we're going to show you how you can have a koi pond for less than $100 and only one Saturday of your time. Let's go. Our koi pond is over 1,500 square feet. It has 5 waterfalls and was constructed by creek rock. We collected each rock and hand placed until we got the finished product. This has been a 4-year project and to date one of our largest built ponds. But over time, even a pond this size can become overpopulated with fish. And when a pond has too many fish, you will start to experience things like overpolluted water, loss of important nutrients, and aggressive fish that compete for food and space. The fish in this pond range in age from newborn up to 7 years old, so it isn't hard to figure out which fish will survive in a heavy populated pond. A koi fish will grow at a rate of 2 centimeters per month, which translates to around 9 inches in the first year. This, of course, depends on their environment. A koi pond that is crowded or small can stunt their growth. So today, we are diving into another weekend DIY. Today's project is to create a water feature to lessen the load on the main pond. If that sounds daunting, no worries. All it takes is a small budget and some imagination. Let's get started. We all love fish. Whether they are in tanks in our homes or in a pond outside, fish bring a sense of calmness to our everyday cluttered lives. The world loves koi fish, mainly because they grow so quickly and they can display amazing colors. In the Japanese culture, many believe that koi represents abundance, that by having them in their homes or on their property, they will attract good luck, fortune, and many spiritual benefits. But we just like them because they grow so quickly, they have beautiful colors, they are very hardy, and they're friendly. Oftentimes they will come right up to the water's edge and eat out of our hands. Now, we also raise a variety of goldfish that live very well with the koi. So if you're interested in learning more about koi fish or the different varieties of goldfish, I'm going to leave a ton of links down in the description, so be sure and check that out. Now, back to work. For this project, we need something to serve as a pond. This can be planter pots, a barrel cut in half, or anything that will hold water. We also need a pump, some tubing, some fish, well maybe not this guy, some tubing clamps, and a few of your favorite plants. And remember, be creative.
The good thing about today's project is we're going to use an object that we just have lying around.
Now remember guys, for this project, you don't have to spend a lot of money. A lot of these items may even be laying around your home. But we're going to show you how you can turn something as simple as this into this. Or this into this. No matter what your budget is, or how big or how small you want to go, you can have a beautiful pond or water feature that will just be stunning in your yard.
But for today's project, we are going to go a tad bigger. I had this old John boat just lying around taking up space, so I think today we're going to use this.
This John boat is perfect. It's a great size. It will hold water without requiring a liner, and it totally fits our style. And the dogs must have saw something. There's a few things we need to do first to make sure that it is leak proof and that it's safe for the fish. So let's do that real quick. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this up to the top where it's going to be placed, and we are going to check it for leaks. We're going to clean it with a mild soap and rinse it really well. There's a water connector.
That's what I'm going to need.
So let's do that real fast.
Heavier than you think.
We're lucky because this project doesn't require any digging or leveling of the ground. We're just going to sit the boat in the spot we like, and then we'll make any necessary adjustments so that it is sturdy and level.
So this next part isn't really necessary, but I think it would add an extra touch. I'm going to put a waterfall on the back of this boat. So I'm going to use some old stones that I had lying around from that big old pond up there, and I'm going to create a waterfall.
So now that the hard stuff is out of the way, let's start adding a few plants to really bring this look to the next level. Now remember, you don't have to break the bank with your landscaping budget. A little goes a long way. So just remember these tips. You always want to use perennials for the very reason that perennials come back year after year. They will grow tall and big. Lots of them will spread, and so each year they're just going to become more lush and cover more area. You want to use plants such as hostas, grasses, anything that will grow up and out. It will provide a bigger coverage, and it won't cost as much money. You can use some annuals in the spring, but remember, again, a little goes a long way. So if you plant some annuals in May, then they are going to provide that pop of color and be there all summer long. Now granted, they won't last past the summer, but you can still do this just to add a little bit of color, and it's relatively inexpensive.
Since we're midway through September, we are not going to plant anything fragile because the winter would just kill it. But I've already had ferns in the ground, which these ferns will come up year after year, winter hardy. But for a touch of color, I am going to add some mums because we are in fall, just for a pop of color. Now these will not survive. Well, actually, they will survive the winter, and they will come up in spring. So these will go in the ground. But once the frost starts, they will die out. And I already have hostas bulbs in the ground, which come spring, they will be lush and green. And this whole area will be filled with a lot of greenery. But come spring, I'm going to add some impatiens because I'm a fan of impatiens. Add pop of color, almost year round, except for winter. So,
Okay guys, so we're about to wrap this project up, but not before we install the pump. Now, we are not putting in a filtration system just yet, and we have several reasons for doing this. Number one, we want to build up some algae. This will supply the fish with important nutrients to help them grow and to keep those vivid, beautiful colors. Number two, our waterfall is built entirely of rock. This pump is going to be running that water over and around those rocks constantly. This in and of itself will provide a beautiful filtration system, just like it does in nature. And number three, because we're headed into the winter months, we're going to stop feeding these fish in another week or two, and we won't pick their feeding back up until early to mid-May. So less food means less waste. Now, for those of you that are going to keep your fish outside, it's important to note that you want to quit feeding them when the temperature of the water hits 55 to 50 degrees. They'll still eat, but their metabolism is very, very low. So while they will eat, their body won't be able to break that food down, and this usually doesn't end well. So just keep that in mind.
okay, we picked up this pump from Lowe's. They come in many sizes, but for this particular water feature, this one will pump about 200 gallons per hour. It's roughly around $50, give or take a few dollars. Does a great job. I added a gardening hose because I didn't have the proper tubing at the moment, but it works. You improvise. And we are going to hook it up in a little bit. Okay, if you're anything like me, I am a flea market crazy person. I will pick up anything and everything, but I love these old lanterns. And I figured, what the heck? They look good with the John boat. Add character. Gonna hang them. Also, since it is a boat, add you a few little oars. Lay them down. Then for final touches, you might want to add a few little water plants. I put this one right in the middle where the seat was. And these, again, I'm a bargain hunter, $1 on clearance at Lowe's. Make perfect touches around the waterfall, which you will see in the final picture.
So, we've done all the damage we can do for today. We're just going to add a few little touches and then add the fish in 24 hours. Don't go anywhere. Okay guys, so we've allowed the water to run over the rocks for the past 24 hours. This also gave the water temperature time to stabilize. So now it's time to release the fish. And number 3, because we are headed into the winter months, excuse me, rooster. And number 3, because we are headed into the winter months, we are going to quit And number 3, because we're headed into the winter months, we're going to quit feeding these fish. Dude, could I have 30 seconds? And number 3, because we're headed into the winter months,